All right, welcome into Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform for a Wednesday evening. With the second of two streams that we do every day here at the Radio Misfits podcast platform. The first one, high noon. Boy, we had fun today, huh? We went almost 4 hours today. That was good stuff. It was actually, I should be fair. It was the first 2 hours was what we typically do, which is headlines, hot topics, trending topics, current events, pop culture, all that kind of stuff, one after another. Then we ended that show and we came back like 5 minutes later to do a live Johnny Depp on the stand watching party. And that was another hour plus that we did of that. That was some crazy stuff that happened. What the hell did I just do wrong? All right, hold on a second here, folks. Hold on.
Hey, am I on the show?
Yeah, just tell everybody why there's no Parker of the Pugs and Parker Pillow Talk show tonight.
Because there's an internet outage in my area.
A cow got loose? Did a cow get loose and tear up some wires?
Right. Someone was trying to dig a pond and they hit like a fiber optic line or something. I don't know.
Well, this totally sucks because I had a surprise for you. We have a special guest, and then I just find out like 10 minutes ago that there's no Parker of the Pugs and Parker tonight.
Well, is the special guest already on?
No. Special guest, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back for an engagement. It's Sunglasses. Sunglasses is back for the first time in forever. Do you think it was going to be Kelly again? That's Mondays. Kelly does Mondays with us.
Where is Animal then?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I can't hear you for some reason, but it's fine.
What, you can't hear James or you can't hear me?
I can't hear... Yeah, I can't hear you guys in my headphones.
Okay. All right. Well,
but I can hear you, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not coming through the headphones, but you're
all
right.
But if you can't hear the audio, this is going to be an audio show. This is going to be a complete breakdown.
I heard Parker.
You hear Parker?
Well,
Parker, talk to him.
Yeah, I'm here. And I can hear him just fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then that should work. Then I'm guessing it should work. All right, James.
Well, do you want me to try the video on my phone? You want me to just use the link and try it like that?
Man, you know what? That's up to you. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But we were going to have some fun. We got the fight footage from Johnny Depp and Amber Heard having a knockdown, drag-out fight, and we can finally determine who the asshole is. And let me tell you, it's obvious. It's obvious who the asshole in that relationship is. And I was kind of hoping we could have 3 guys involved in this breakdown because I think we've all been in Johnny Depp's shoes a time or two in our lives.
I figured that's why you invited me, because I've dated a whole bunch of crazy.
Yes, you've dated a lot of crazy hot chicks. And this is going to be some fun audio of a crazy hot chick. James, it's your call. I mean, whatever you want to do, because I know that you're, look, your internet's down. So if you're not comfortable, that's fine. I'll tell you what, you have the link. If you decide to punch in, I'm not going to put you on the spot here. If you decide to punch in, I'll bring you up.
All right, let me see if I can make this work.
Oh, I love it. I love the gaminess in him. I love that you want to make it work. No pressure though. Seriously, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If you don't get through, you don't get through. We'll just move forward. And we don't have to do a monologue or anything like that because I really want to just listen to audio tape. And it'll take a while for us to dissect it because we're going to be pausing it. We're going to be talking about what we're hearing. James, did you hear about the poop in the bed?
Oh, no.
Oh,
Who did a poop in the bed?
Who do you...
Oh, no. This is part of the Johnny Depp thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she took a dump in the bed.
Yes, she got angry and took a dump in the bed. That's a big FU. Hi, John. John's in the chat room.
Well, I'm trying not to judge too much because the guy on my kickball team did that to his ex-wife.
You got you.
And he got kicked out of kickball for it because he went and took a dump in her kitchen. Yeah, so, I mean, I've seen people go that level of crazy before, and overall, she could still be a good person and just have, like, an errant dump. I mean, that doesn't condemn her as a bad person. Yeah, she's not the most stable of people, and you probably, don't want her, saying the eulogy at your funeral or whatever, but it doesn't mean she's, like, overall a bad person.
Here's the thing, though. The guy on your kickball team doesn't currently play the mother of Aquaman in a $100 million plus film franchise. It's not a good look for
Oh,
the Queen
so
of the
if you're the
Sea.
mother of Aquaman, that's such an important position that you just can't have a misplaced dunk. You
Well,
have to be perfect with your dunk.
I certainly think that it plays against type of the Queen of the Sea. Yeah, I do. I think that that's not necessarily something that.
I think the opposite. I think if you live in the sea, you pretty much have carte blanche to dump anywhere.
Yeah, but then just other fish come along and eat it, so it doesn't. It's not like it lingers.
Sure, but
It's
I mean, method acting.
there you
There's
go.
a place for it.
There you go. All right, if you want to try, give it a try. E, any better? I see you tinkering.
Well, I see that my box is lighting up, but for some reason you're just not coming into my phones.
Yeah, I'm not hearing you through the microphone. You sound terrible. And E's probably going nuts. E is in the chat room. E, can you dissect what's happening with Emil right now? We don't. I mean, it's working. So.
Yeah, I see he's doing that.
Oh,
you can't hear me good or no?
No, I'm not hearing you. I'm hearing you. It sounds like you're in a tuna can, but I hear you fine. I mean, it'll work. I'm just worried that you're not going to be able to hear the audio we play.
Okay. Well, God, I'm sorry.
Well,
no, Ed's in here trying to figure it out. So
it's not your fault.
Hopefully.
Here, hold on. We'll just give it a. Tell me, can you hear this? Just tell me if you can hear this. Oh Jesus. This stuff doesn't work.
I hear it because it's coming through my computer speaker. It's just not coming through my headphones.
Okay, so you can hear it. So you will be able to hear the audio. What do we got here? Hold on, let's see if we bring James in. James, are you there?
I don't know. It's kind of flashing at me all funny.
Okay, well, you're in complete darkness. But we can hear you, and you sound better.
Okay. All right, I'll keep trying to progress over here.
Okay, so we just move forward. You want to just
let's go.
Let's just jump in.
So I have a question though before we get started for you guys with this pooping.
Yeah.
Like, do you think they're actually pooping over top of the bed, or are they pooping in the toilet, pulling it out, and then putting it on the bed?
Oh, see, now these are the important questions that we have people like you on the show for. That is a good question. Okay, so based on the context that was testified to today in court, it was done in order to anger Johnny, to show defiance on the part of Amber. So your question is, did she have a movement in the toilet and then scoop it out and move it over to the bed? Or I'll tell you what I prefer. I prefer the idea of her just squatting and grunting right there on the bed like an animal, just like a crazed, angry animal. James, what do you think is more likely?
Oh, I really hope it's the squat on the bed, because the transportation is another level of crazy. Like that, yeah. I have a hard enough problem, with the errant Duke to begin with, but just because she's not going to pick it up with the plastic gloves on. She doesn't have latex gloves laying around, so I really hope it's not. But it does kind of fit the sort of fecalphilia. There's not, I don't want to say stereotype, but the sort of the MO, like not only are they interested in being around it more than we are, they're interested in touching it as part of the appeal.
Yeah. It certainly does play into her scatological personality. See
what I did there? That was really bad, dude.
Puns. Yay.
Like, don't you feel though, like if you were going to do it on the bed, you can't like be freewheeling out in the middle because you're going to be unstable. Like if you're squeezing one out, like, don't you have to be propped up maybe against the headboard and dropping it like at the pillow area?
I don't
know.
Like,
I think you're dropping it in the middle of the bed. Like, I'm afraid I'm gonna maybe fall backwards, or if I'm standing on the mattress. You know what I mean? Like, don't you need like a solid kind of a footing? You don't want to be rocking.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. So she probably leaned on the headboard. That's a reasonable theory. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, like maybe you like reach the headboard and you kind of got your knees to the headboard and you're then squatting that way. And you're kind of holding on to something, like you see the homeless people do. They seem to always like use a railing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
think you're totally right. And so it's funny to picture beautiful Amber Heard hanging off the headboard, you know?
oh, and it was fantastic. We were watching it on Law and Crime Network, and they had the split screen. So as Johnny was telling the stories, you got to see Amber, just
Oh,
sitting there reacting to it and telling a story to the world that she's an animal. That she's just. Hold on, I'm trying to find. Um, trying to find something here.
I don't know. I just when I heard she like pooped on the bed, I was thinking, man, that might be tough to accomplish. But like if you do the reverse, I guess grab the headboard. You probably get it done that way.
James, did you see her today? I mean, did you see what Amber looked like today?
I did not. Was she absolutely beautiful? Because that's what she usually looks like.
James, I'll tell you here. I'll just tell you what she looked. She looked like a hot middle school teacher on trial for sleeping with 12-year-olds. That is what she looked like. She wasn't doing the Amber Heard big Hollywood makeup thing.
Yeah, but that sounds really flattering.
She looked amazing. Oh no,
Okay.
she still looked really amazing. She looked crazy sexy, but she didn't look like Amber Heard, the Hollywood starlet. She looked like Amber Heard from Toledo, Ohio. Like dressed up for her job interview for like her best job. You know what I mean?
I hear
I
you.
bet you he doesn't see her like that though. Like,
I
like
know.
when they're that hot and they turn that crazy, like you just don't see them hot at all.
There's James. All right, you look better. All right, let's jump into this. Let's listen to some audio. First, we will hear a little bit of Johnny's testimony today. We will break this down, and then we'll go into the audio. Then we'll listen to the raw audio tape of, them fighting. All right, so let's see what we got here. Let me pull this up. Give me a second. All right, here. This was the best I was able to find of the fecal matter story. Hold on, let's get into.
I'm sure, of course, you felt something.
Okay, hold on.
Very calmly said, "Look,
All right, I'm going to make us all small.
I've made a decision, and I think it's the best thing. I'm going to file for divorce.
Okay, James, can you see her?
But I'm not going to. I'm not
No.
going to cite.
You can't see her?
No.
Why not?
Headphones are
I don't know.
fixed.
I'm just looking at you.
Oh, can you see her?
I can't, and my headphones are fixed.
All right, you can see her. So James, you're not seeing her because of some issue on your end, is my point.
I don't know. I see you two. It looks like it's on purpose too.
Okay, so you do not see Johnny Depp on one side of the screen and Amber Heard on the other.
No, I just see you two guys.
All right. What do you think of the way she's dressed? She's they've got her dressed in a very civilian kind of way, not a Hollywood star way. Would you agree? Meanwhile, Johnny Depp looks like a dude who is the lead singer of like a mobster wedding band. He's wearing a terrible suit. He's wearing the black shirt with the bad 70s tie or 80s tie.
Like Duke Ellington did mushrooms.
No, like at the Gambino wedding, Johnny's on stage playing guitar and singing. That's what he looks like. He's got the ponytail. What do you think of the way they look? Yeah, we can't hear you at all. Your microphone is now turned off. Turn your mic off.
Hey, there I am. Oh, now I see her.
Yeah.
Look at that.
All of a sudden we can't hear you at all.
Oh man, I hate that outfit.
You hate Amber's outfit?
Yeah, I hate that outfit.
What do you hate about it?
Because that's not Amber Heard. That's Amber Heard trying to clean it up a little bit.
That's Amber Heard from Toledo, Ohio, not Amber Heard from Hollywood, California.
I see, and I'm just shallow enough to find that really disappointing.
Oh, see, and I think she looks amazing. I think she looks really good. I think she looks fantastic. Is your mic fixed? Yeah, it is not. Oh, this is a real bummer. His mic was just fine. See, this is what happens when we don't do this stuff for a long time.
Yeah, well, I still don't have internet at my house. I'm just blasting this off my phone. So,
and it seems to be working okay for you, right?
Yeah, I see her now.
Okay.
Because like that is like a psychiatrist picked out that color because they are hyper
Oh yeah.
specific
Test.
to the colors and the
There he
color
Test.
is.
choices.
There's he. Okay, good. Whatever you did, it just got fixed. Continue on, James.
Okay.
So that is I know that color that they chose for her is one that's meant to be calming and reassuring.
Non-aggressive.
Right. And the reason I know that is because that's the color of the walls in my elementary school, my middle school, and my high school.
Right.
I had that big air raid architecture where it's just painted cinder blocks, you know?
Yeah, that's the
And they
color.
were all painted the color of her. What is she wearing? A pantsuit? Amber Heard runs around in a blazer with shoulder pads. Really?
No, dude. She looks good. At the end when she stands up, she's wearing dark brown pants. With that, she looks good. They're tight. She looks good.
She doesn't look bad. But
She looks good.
Not what Amber Heard was wearing last Wednesday.
James, you're in Tyler, Texas. That is a Tyler 10. That is what he's sitting here. Now, granted, it's not the Queen of the Sea from the Aquaman movies. We all know what Amber Heard is capable of. But that is a Tyler 10 if I ever saw one.
Yeah, well, that's a 10 anyway. She looks beautiful.
Yeah, she does. E, what do you make of the outfit?
Well, I think the color choice is
coming in hot. Bring it down a little bit. You're a little hot. You're really hot.
Hot. Is that better?
Let's count to 10.
Better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, you sound fine. Just don't shout.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think the color choice is a pastel. So that to me is like very soft, probably not. You don't think of this girl in a rage.
No. Yeah, it's not an aggressive color. It's none of the hyper colors. It's not red. It's not black. It's very calming. James described it perfectly. It is the color of mental institutions. It is the color of public schools. That would be called probably eggnog white. I would say that's the color that they told her to wear. Now, also, no lipstick. I was comparing earlier tonight. I was looking at pictures of Amber Heard from, the Amber Heard gallery. She wears bright red lipstick 100% of the time. And that's why she looks so different to me. I was like, huh. And very little eye makeup. Now, I don't know if that's to give the impression that she's emotionally distraught and crying, because she does look like she's been crying. You agree?
Yeah. There's
a little puffy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, should we jump into it? So we've paused it, so let's watch a little bit of this, and then raise your hand, and I'll pause it if you guys have a comment on something that we hear. But this is building up to part of the poop story.
Irreconcilable differences. I'm not going to cite any violence. I'm going to state this. The two of us, we simply don't want to feel as though we have a collar around each other's neck and a leash attached to it, and then this piece of paper that proves that that's true. So what I thought was best was we want to end this in love and take the idea of ownership of one another out of the picture, and that's how I approached Miss Heard with that. And
so why did you go over to the penthouses on May 21st?
Penthouses, plural.
Miss Heard had requested.
You got some?
That I come over to.
Okay, can you pause?
Yeah. I know I said raise your hand if you got something to say, and then you sort of flashed me deuces. I wasn't sure if that was.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
What is she talking about the penthouses? Is she talking about him cheating on her?
No, Amber, this is at a time when they were sort of estranged, and they own multiple penthouses there, and she was at one of the penthouses. So he had to go over to her because they're talking about.
Dude, these people live in a completely different universe than we do, don't we?
E?
Hey, he sounds sketchy to me.
Agreed. I think he's acting. He sounds like he's acting.
Like this whole, like, I'm not going to get into the violence, but you're going to bring up the violence.
Well, one.
I mean, that's like a cliffhanger.
Sketchy is not the word. We've been watching it now for 2 days straight. This has been his consistent tone. Johnny Depp is a weird guy, and he chooses his words very carefully. And he's Mr. Peace and Love, man. He is Mr. He doesn't want to be, but he's being forced to. He's being asked direct questions. He's not offering the violent takes. He's being asked direct questions, and he could be a lot worse in his retelling of them. But he's trying to be as. I think he comes.
So have we just jumped in here? Was there some reference to violence prior to this?
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. This is like 12 hours in. He's going into day 3 of full day testimony.
Oh, I understand that. I'm just saying, like here where he's starting to talk, he goes, "I'm not going to bring up the violence," but
right. So, like, he was already directly asked about the picture from the ER. There's a picture of where she basically cut his finger off with a bottle, and he had to have surgery to have his finger repaired. And then he also was already asked directly about her putting cigarettes out on his face and all burns that he had on his face in the emergency room. So, yeah, they have well established that there was some violence that was perpetrated against Johnny Depp, some actual photographic evidence and hospital records. But there's nothing. Like, she never had a black eye. She never took a picture. So let's continue. You guys, again, jump in when you want. There's we're ramping up to poop story, or at least part of the poop story. I can't find the beginning.
She wanted to explain things.
So that's why they were going to the penthouse. She wanted to explain, notably, the poop story.
You can't just float a text.
And I also wanted to gather up some of those things, precious things that you live with. So I went over there to have a discussion, calm, understanding. And I figured she understood as well as I did that there was no way back. And I also felt that she would understand that it was the best thing for us, and there was nothing there should have been nothing to fight over. It was clear. I told her that I would take care of her and all that, and
so guys, and maybe you're familiar with this a little bit more of us, having dated a number of insane model types. She's being broken up with. That's the problem. Johnny is breaking up with her, and she don't like it. She don't like that this guy is breaking up with her. Any experience in that realm?
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, crazies.
All right, I'll let you get
it doesn't. I mean, because you're revert, like that normally doesn't happen to the hot chick. The hot chick's normally the dumper.
Oh yeah.
And so if you pull the trigger prior to them pulling the trigger, it doesn't really go over well. And one in particular that I could think of, she got very violent, and she was a drinker.
Oh yeah. So is Amber.
Yeah, so it kind of fits the profile exactly. Yeah. I'm interested. It's starting to sound familiar.
All right, let's see. James, any thoughts so far? We're about to hear how it plays out when he goes over to the penthouse after he's told her he's looking to break up with her. He needed to go back to the house to gather some things that were important to him, probably his collection of Sasquatch teeth or thing that Johnny Depp has that's important to him. James,
both of them just sound sketchy as hell. And is it okay if I just don't take a side? Because this is like when two countries you hate go to war against each other, and it's like, you know what?
I hope both of them lose. That's absolutely fine. And I went in with the exact same thing. But like I said, I'm 2 days into it, and there is an obvious right side and an obvious wrong side.
And to be fair, I think Johnny Depp's a good person. I don't know, but I think he's probably a good person with a good heart. But I also think he's a dumb person who is saying things that dumb people think sound smart.
No,
But they're not
no.
and he's not like, mouth breathing idiot, but he's like less than average intelligence.
See, I disagree with you on that. I think that he's a different kind of intelligence. I think that because of his life experience, he has probably seen things and done things and experienced things that you and me, probably not Emil, but you and me could never even wrap our minds around. So he's probably much smarter than you and I, and he gets into this when subjects like, world religions and philosophy and all of that. I don't think he's a dumb person at all. What I think he is an eccentric actor. That's what he is. He's a weirdo. I mean, but just to be able to classify him as dumb, I mean, you and I both know dumb people. I don't think he's dumb. I think that he's worldly. I think he's well-traveled. And I think that he has life experiences that, again, you and I couldn't compete with. So
No, I'll agree. My life experiences couldn't compete with him, but I still think he's a below-average person who is a great skilled actor. And that's what he writes all day, every day to get him through everything. It's like a supermodel rides on their looks. He rides on his ability to act. He's acting right now. He's in a goddamn character. This is not how Johnny Depp would normally talk if there weren't cameras on.
Oh, but it is. I mean, have you ever heard him? And if this is, I mean, I get what you're saying. He's putting on a performance to win a court case, and that's understandable. I agree with you 100%. But this is not different than how Johnny Depp has sounded for the last 20 years.
Look, and it's no big deal to admit that, because you wouldn't talk the same way you're talking right now in court. You would kind of clean it up and not be so wacky and, oh, come on, you guys. You would be talking in like sort of that measured, straightforward Johnny Depp style.
Well, yes, because it's court. You have to be more, you have to choose your words correctly because he's about to be cross-examined. So, he's got to.
But luckily, below average intelligence people, some of them can just whip ass at guitar. Well, he can whip ass at being charismatic when he speaks. Right. That's his skill. And he's writing that here. This does not feel authentic. But it is interesting to watch because, hey, it's like freaking Jack Sparrow guy or whatever. Look at him go.
It's a couple of celebrities. I think that let's just watch.
And then she started to.
So they're at
telling me about the. She brought up the situation of her fecal matter on the bed.
Oh man, that's great.
And I. And she tried to blame it on the dogs.
Why didn't you think it could have been the dogs?
The dogs were their teacup Yorkies.
So it's big turds. Big human turds. Big pretty girl
the
turds.
Photograph that I saw, and I mean, I lived with those dogs for many years, and so did.
All right, stop.
Okay. All right.
But in real life, Johnny Depp wouldn't say that.
Say what?
Like, how do you know it wasn't the dogs? You're like, because the shit was so big.
Dude, he's in court. What is wrong with you? You've been in court. Can you explain why Johnny Depp's not going? Because it's fucking shit. I mean, it's in court.
I mean, I think he could clean it. Yeah, I'm with James here. He seems like he's bumbling a little bit, where he doesn't have to say the SHIT word, but I think he could speed up the process.
Oh, God, you and me both. I've been watching this for 2 days. Yes, this is how he's been. But
I mean, you got to understand, this is not the first time he's being asked this question. I'm sure there's a deposition that exists prior to this.
Yeah,
where he was deposed by this same
and he sounded
attorney.
Exactly the same way. Yeah, I was listening to that earlier. That's available as well. He sounds exactly the same way. But he's in a court of law. He has to use his words differently than if he was sitting in a bar, having drinks with Keith Richards. I mean, I don't understand that
Well,
criticism.
That's why he sounds inauthentic, but the point stands that he sounds inauthentic.
Well,
but then everybody in court does.
It's like the
Well,
Chuck.
some people just fly off and sound normal. It doesn't serve them well, but they do.
Yes, some people do not respect the authority of the judicial system. You're right. E, go ahead.
Well, the chuckle that he had, like that was him in real Johnny Depp, like what he's thinking.
Laughing about the poop.
Yeah, and then he kind of swiped that off of his face and he went into the character.
He's trying to be
that's
serious.
Johnny Depp.
Well, okay, let's watch.
She's a woman who's been with me for 30 plus years, from the very beginning.
This is where he's talking about he showed the house cleaner Hildy the poops, and Hildy doesn't think they're dog poops either. Okay, here we go.
Hilda Vargas.
Hildy.
She's a woman who's been with me for 30 plus years, from the very beginning, and she was the one who photographed it. It was clear she knew the dogs as well as I did. That was none of that did not come from a dog.
Too big.
Mr. Depp, could we back up a little bit? Who went over to the penthouses with you on May 21st?
All right, so now that I just wanted to get to the dog pooping story. All right, so there you go. That's what the court case looked like today. That's the split screen where you're seeing both of them. Now you want to listen to the audio from their fight because the audio is interesting. The audio shows.
How did this get recorded?
They were recording everything, all of their discussions, because the therapist told them that they needed to record the discussions in order to then listen back to them and see who was right and who was wrong. So it wasn't a secret recording, although they may have, in the heat of the moment through the argument, forgotten that it was being recorded. It certainly seems to me like maybe they did, because there was a lot of admissions but I don't think they ever intended for this recording to go anywhere other than the therapist for the work that they were putting into their marriage. Yeah.
He seems to me also to be very, very calculated in the words that he's choosing. Like, I think he was going to say, Hildy, my housekeeper, and then he kind of rolled that back and he said, well, she's been with me since the very beginning, without even really giving her a description.
Yeah, he's a creative weirdo. He's just
but I think it's more today, like with social media the way it is and the Me Too movement and women, he's trying not to come from a position of I'm up here, you're down here.
Okay.
Kind of you're my employee picking up the poop or that's really your job.
Well, maybe he doesn't see her that way until he thinks something's been stolen from his house.
Yeah.
Maybe he sees her as an equal until there's.
Well, but I mean, you could see he kind of stumbled through it. He almost started on that description and then he rolled it back.
Yeah, well, and everyone's equal till someone poops on the bed.
Yeah, right. Well, poor Hildy. Hildy had to clean it up. All right, so let's give a listen to some of the audio here.
And if I were him, I'd be afraid, because this is a situation where you're coming from the top of the hill and you're going to be perceived that way. And so you got to be really careful that this doesn't damage your brand.
Well, that's the whole point of the court case. It has damaged his brand. He lost the Fantastic Beasts franchise. He lost the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. That's the whole reason why he is.
No, I'm saying this testimony here. It's like something that he says here. If it's not politically correct or it's taken in the wrong way. And he seems like he's very calculated in his words.
Well, he's openly talked already about how his brand is over, and she did it by floating all of these stories for the past 6 years that he's an abuser. So I mean, he's here. Let's just listen to some of the raw audio tape just to get an idea of how these people.
Do I need to know any context, because I've never heard this?
You need to know any context? No, I think I gave it to you. They had been recording. He had been recording on the advice of his therapist all of now again, I'm not sure that she knew there was a recording going on, but this was for the purpose of therapy and self-help so that he could make his marriage work. At this point of the recording, they are trying to make the marriage work. Okay. So here we go. Can we see it? Is it showing? Yeah, there it is. Okay, very good. Let's make it bigger and then let's listen.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 343. And further, this is an audio recording. It's quite lengthy. We intend to play certain portions of it.
Okay. Any objection?
No objection, other than just like to know what minute, second portions there.
All right, come on, we'll fast forward to
Seconds.
Fucker hitting me.
All right, go. Starts out low. They got to turn it up. They got bad AV in that courtroom.
That's the promise you gave me a little while ago. I'm telling you, if you lost memory tonight of kicking me out the door with the fucker hitting me,
Again,
and your memory is gone from you kicking the bathroom door and hitting me in the skull down. Wait.
Sorry.
If you have those memory, fucking, divots.
I was upset. There was a lot going on, and I was on an Ambien. Like, why are you obsessing over the fact that I can't remember it the way you remembered it? I said I was sorry. I didn't deny it.
I'm not talking about that. What
I don't know why I paused. All right, so in that clip, she was apologizing for being on Ambien and apparently assaulting him the night before, kicking him in.
It's just to get out.
And she's admitted to it on the tape.
While it's happening, before it gets worse. In Australia, when we had the big, I lost the tip of my finger. At least 5 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms I went to. To
avoid talking to me.
To escape the fight.
You don't escape the fight. You escape the solution.
No.
You escape the solution.
No.
You escape figuring it out. We cannot work it out if you run away to the bathroom every time.
Listen to me. A boxer can't go 12 rounds without a fucking minute break.
I'm not giving you a minute break. You do it at minute 3 at the beginning of an argument.
No. There are rounds, man. And when it gets too fucking hairy, the ref splits them apart or whatever. But all I'm saying is, you can't have a solution if the argument just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting and mounting. I fucking go into the bathroom and sit on the floor. Bam, bam, bam. Here you come. I come out. Fight. Crazy. Escalated. I go split again. I go to another fucking bathroom or a bedroom or something. Knock, knock, knock. Bang, bang, bang. You kept coming to get me.
All right, so here, there's more, but any thoughts on that? Because what we're hearing there is them talking about the way they fight, and he is doing what every single man is told to do. When it gets too hairy, in his words, remove yourself from the situation. And I've been in there where, Eve, you have too probably, where you're like, okay, I'm out, and you move and you go into a bedroom, and then she's still coming. She's kicking at the door. She's screaming, get out here, or whatever that is. I'd also like to point out that he's talking the exact same way he's talking on the on the stand. That's how he talks. He's just using a few expletives.
Yeah. I mean, he does sound in this tape very much like he does sound on the stand.
James,
I wouldn't have expected that.
James, any thoughts on what we're hearing so far about this dynamic between a man and a woman?
Yeah, so what he's saying now, it does sound like the same guy, but it sounds authentic. And it's not just because he's cussing. It's because he's also not trying to put these pauses in there. And I'm sure, certainly not angry. I mean, you can tell like there's emotional levels in
Yeah.
his voice here.
Oh yeah, I mean
So
they're impassioned. He's having a fight with his wife, and his marriage is falling apart. Yeah, as
yeah.
opposed to
Also,
being on the stand.
I've had arguments with girlfriends like that, but they didn't remain girlfriends very long. If a girl ever did that, it's just kind of over. And me and my wife literally never do that. And I'm not bragging. It's just I don't know why you people stick around in relationships that are like that.
Well,
You know,
some of us don't, James. that's
right.
why we're got 2 divorces. I
Yeah,
do anyway. I mean, I don't know who you're talking to.
yeah. Well, you know, these are sort of the red flags I look for, that you should have weeded this broad out before you got married, or she should have weeded you out. But some people like that. Some people, their equilibrium is screaming at each other, and it's almost an insult to them if you don't scream back, because it means you don't care enough to scream. And
Yeah.
I just didn't play that game, but there's a lot of people who do. They
It,
live for this stuff.
it sounds to me so far like they're having a fight, and he's trying to have a conversation about why they fight. He's trying to get into the meat of it, like, why are we doing this? And what we're learning is the reveal here is that when they fight, he does the right thing by removing himself out of the situation, locking himself in a bathroom, or going, like he said, I went to 5 bathrooms and 4 bedrooms. By the way, nice hotel suite. They're in Australia when he's telling this particular story. And she chases after him. And, you know, that's kind of the female move. When the guy wants it to be over and removes himself because something bad could happen, and we know who ends up in handcuffs when something bad happens.
It's always me.
It's always the man. It's always the man. 100% of the time, it's he may not be booked into jail, but he will take a ride.
Is this just unreasonable? How about you just don't marry someone you fight with that bad? Is that a dumb thing to say? Do I sound naive saying that?
Yeah, you do. You sound reductively simplistic in that. That's not how
Because
relationships
that's how it
work.
works for me.
Yeah,
We don't yell at
and
each
God
other.
bless you, man. God bless you.
Well, I
sound
think.
simplistic?
Well, I think the other thing that's not being thought about with that statement is they're probably both substance abusers.
He's
of
not.
some.
He's clean at this point.
Well, no, but I'm saying in Australia.
Oh, yeah, no, he was clean. That's where she hid his
Well,
pills.
he's not renowned for his cleanliness. How about that?
Well, no, but he was in rehab. He was really bad, and then he went to rehab, and he's been clean for like 7
Right,
years
but
now. And that was
okay. But what I'm saying is, when they were together in their relationship and they were both on substances,
the sex was great.
they probably had both exhibited some bad behavior.
Sure.
Under the influence. And so I think what happens is you make, I don't know if this is, you should or not, but I think you make an excuse for the significant other or the partner because you understand that they weren't in there 100% of their mind. Now, some people would go, well, hey, if they're going to act like that when they're messed up, I'm just out of here. And I think there are other people that go, well, you know, they weren't in their right mind. I love them. You know, they maybe shouldn't have taken so much. And you want to fix them. And there's kind of that wounded bird scenario. Yeah. So I understand James's thought, but I don't think that plays out in reality a lot, because if you're abusing a substance and your partner's abusing a substance, you kind of want that door to swing both ways in terms of forgiveness.
The situation in Australia that he referenced is the situation where he had just come out of rehab and he was taking the prescribed medication that makes him violently ill if he goes near alcohol. And he was taking these pills, and she hid those pills on him and was then parading around drinking from a bottle of wine, teasing him about how he has no willpower and all that kind of stuff. So it's a pretty ugly scene that they were talking about. And what we also just heard was her making excuses for kicking him in the head the night before because she was on Ambien. Right? Okay, so we're hearing, we've established that she's the one engaging in violence, he is the one trying to get away from the violence, and she is excusing her behavior because she took Ambien. We all heard that?
I've heard a lot of people say they can't remember stuff when they're on Ambien.
Absolutely.
How many ladies listening right now are dying on the inside because they remember from 21 Jump Street and they would never treat him like that?
Yeah, right. All right, let's go back to it. Let's get some more audio here.
I'm not the one who fucking.
Watch your mouth.
I'm not the one who fucking throws fucking pots and.
Those are different. That's different.
Else at me.
That's different. That's one does not negate the other. That's irrelevant. It's a complete non sequitur. Just because I've thrown pots and pans does not mean that you come and knock on the door. Just because there are vases does not mean that you come and knock on the door.
So just let you throw.
I'm not saying that. You're saying that. You're putting words in my mouth and then making non sequiturs.
I'm giving you a situation.
No, you're trying to justify how you don't or do come to the door based on whether I throw pots and pans. It's irrelevant.
I am justifying how you seem to think that there's this cowardice in me that runs away and I don't fight for you.
And you're justifying that by saying I throw pots and pans? Okay, cool. Let's talk about everything you do wrong.
I'm not the one who.
I'm lost at what she's saying. So he comes and knocks on the door?
No, she comes and knocks on the door when he's removed himself from the situation. She keeps hounding him, and then now he wants to talk about her violent streak where she throws things at him, and he just throws out.
What's he doing wrong? I haven't heard her say.
Well,
so
yeah,
he's avoiding her?
Yes, her claim is that he takes her for granted, that he's distant and he doesn't pay enough attention to her. We'll get to that. Those are her main complaints. His complaints are that he cuts off her fingers, puts cigarettes out on his face, and kicks him in the head. So it's the same, I think. Let's continue on here. I'm sorry, James. Do you have any questions on that?
I'm just kind of disappointed that Johnny Depp's scene control, because I don't know if there's a chick out there that could land a kick on my head. So get your guard up. Stop being such a wuss.
Tell Travis what just happened. Travis,
Here we go. Here's more.
I said to Travis, I said to you, hey, tell Travis what just happened.
Well, you're telling me to do it. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just happened.
And I lied.
And that you punched me in the
right.
fucking thing. And
You figured it out.
And you said, no, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? And I watched you lie. And then
I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe,
not punch. I wasn't punching you. I was hitting you.
You're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You've been a lot of fights. Been on a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you fucking have a close.
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual.
All right, just so that we remember, this entire case is about the story she told to the Washington Post about her years of abuse at the hands of the violent and out of control Johnny Depp. That's why Johnny Depp is taking her to court. He is saying, I was not the violent one. And this is really the only tangible evidence that we have of what went on with this couple behind the scenes. And we are now hearing another example of a woman admitting that she's saying that a punch or whatever, but he's saying, you punched me, you hit me, you kicked me, you throw vases at me. I went to the emergency room. You put cigarettes out in my mouth. You hid my pills. I mean, there is no two sides to this. Yes, they might both be unlikable people, but in this relationship, the stories that we've heard for the last 7 years about Johnny Depp being this horrible Me Too monster who just destroyed, it's not true. It is being played out in court that it's not true, that she's the one that does all the stuff, and she admits it. And look, I was in a relationship years ago with a girl who was incredibly physical with me. I mean, I said that I had to go to the emergency room, or I had to go get x-rays. I went to York to get x-rays when my eye socket was broken because of another one of these things. What I did was left. You gotta leave. You gotta leave the situation. And if I hadn't left the situation, that particular person those years ago, they could have called the cops and said that he was beating me up. I mean, and this is kind of what we're seeing. Maybe I'm a little bit, maybe because I've had a situation where I had someone who was very violent with me and I was not allowed to fight back.
It is striking to me that she is not referencing any violence that he has committed against her.
No, only
if there was some.
Yeah.
Well, he's saying, well, you hit me. Well, I did not hit you. You know, I mean, it seems like if he had done something at this point to her physically, that just in the normal conversation or the normal argument, it would have come up.
James, does he sound like a guy that beats woman?
He does not sound like a guy that beats this woman. He sounds like an absolute beta male with no scene control. And if you're with a broad for like 11 years and she's still throwing pots at you, just cut it off, man. It's over. You failed. Y'all aren't good together.
It's not like he's not Johnny Depp. I mean, he's not going to be alone for
options,
long.
Bro. Yeah, you got better options.
And what? Fine. I did not hurt motion. I did not fucking deck. You got hit. I'm sorry. I hit you like this. But I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are you?
How?
All right, so let me ask you, what if this was a tape and there was a guy saying that? Yeah, you're fine. I didn't even
Thrown
hurt.
under the jail. Thrown under the jail. Firing. They would bring back the firing squad just for this guy, even if your state didn't allow it.
Wouldn't we be out on that guy? If we heard a tape of a guy, if the roles were reversed and we heard Johnny Depp saying to her, "Oh, I hit you. I didn't punch you. You're fine." Wouldn't we all have a very solid opinion of what a piece of shit he is?
For sure.
Well, that's all I'm saying. I mean,
it would be outraged.
We are learning who Amber Heard really is.
All right. What am I supposed to do? Do this? I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you started.
You are such a baby. Grow the fuck up, Johnny. I did start a physical fight.
You did, so I had
Because
to get the fuck out of there.
yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable.
Picking up a little sarcasm there.
Yeah, but not good for her case. Not good for her case, and real good for his case, trying to defend himself, saying that she made all that shit up. I
haven't heard one thing that's good for her case.
No. Although she looks beautiful on the verge of tears there. You're just looking at the freeze frame of her, having to sit in court, listen to that.
Yeah.
That can't be great. It's not a good feel. All right. Oh, wait, what was the question?
Depp, could you please explain to the jury? Mr. Depp, could you please explain to the jury what they just heard on those audio recordings?
Heard me being abused.
Yeah. And by the way, there's like another 45 minutes of audio recordings that they haven't.
What was displayed on the audio recordings was
boy, he's
very much the
he's got
tone
one speed
and the aggression and the attitude and the need for a fight from Ms. Heard. That was
from Ms. Heard.
I don't know if that was some need for attention, but that was a sound that I had gotten very used to. The squabbling, the raising of the voice to essentially excommunicate anything that I had to say about the situation. But then, and I do remember that incident. I believe that's from the when I was in the bathroom, and I was in fact taking a shower.
Thought he was going to say something else.
This was in penthouse 3.
Oh, the third penthouse.
She came banging on the door, banging on the door, banging on the door. I didn't answer. I was in the shower. I couldn't deal with it. I didn't want to deal with any more of that sarcastic, demeaning, aggressive, violent toxic spew. And so I was taking a shower and I didn't want to answer the door. She kept banging. And then I finally got out of the shower and I opened the bathroom door about just that much, just so I could have a good hold on the door in case she tried to burst in. And I was right, she did. She was, bathroom doors go in, she was pushing all her weight on the door, trying to get in. And I was pushing back because I didn't want to let her in, because I obviously didn't want the confrontation. She was not in best of moods, you can hear. So when I was pushing the bathroom door, trying to close it, and was almost closed, she suddenly kind of yelped in pain. And she screamed out, "Ow, my toes or my foot or something." And so in that second, I thought possibly her foot had gotten caught under the door, which would, of course, not feel great on the foot or the toes. So I thought she was maybe injured. So I knelt down to have a look. The door was still, it was still pretty well about that much open. And when I knelt down on my hands and knees to look at her foot to see the injury, she kicked the bathroom door into my head.
Can't we get it, Johnny?
Yeah, she kicked the bathroom door into my head, and I was completely taken aback by such a
Cheap shot.
corrosive.
Yeah, man,
horrific
she's a
move.
monster.
So I stood up and I believe
That's a dick move. That's a total dick move. There's no other way to put it. Oh, ow! Oh my God, are you okay? Hiya! I mean, that ain't cool. All right, let's see if we get some more audio. A little more audio. James, you can jump out. I know you like to jump out here.
Well, I see. This is going to be okay to say because it's a guy, but if the roles were reversed, I'd get just destroyed here. But let me go ahead and say, dude, if she's already been doing this to you for like the last 7 years, and in year 8 you want to like take her to court, no, you already know what you're in for. Now you just
Well, no, I don't think you understand the real
I
progression.
don't.
Okay,
I don't.
So they were divorced in 2016. She took the stand in 2016 and said all of these terrible things about him. When it was his turn to take the stand and say, no, here's what really happened, he decided that he didn't want to do that to her. He didn't want to destroy her with all of this stuff. So he had his lawyers approach her lawyers with a settlement. And he said, look, he goes, she wanted $7 million. He said, fine, you have your $7 million, but here's the deal. We are never going to talk about this stuff again. I will never tell my side of the story, and you will never tell your story again. That was in 2016. There was an agreement that they made between their lawyers. Divorce is finalized. They both move on. A couple of years later, during the Me Too thing, Amber Heard decided that she would do an op-ed piece in the London Times, I think, and the Washington Post. The Washington Post story that she wrote, remember, after they made this agreement, she again started talking about, well, I know about Me Too because I was abused for years and years, and she went into all of this shit. That caused Disney to drop him from the Pirates of the Caribbean. It also caused him to be dropped from the Fantastic Beasts. So at that point, Johnny Depp said, oh, fuck this. I am suing her for slander and libel, and that's where we are now.
He has to be such a a beat down, submissive little beta male to put up with this for so long, much less marry this. I've dated crazy girls and it never went more than like a month or two because the second you find out that they're crazy, you're like, oh, good, I'm out of here.
No, I think he's had enough. I think he's ready to fucking burn her at the stake. That he's done. He's not going to live the rest of his life with this little crazy chick running around telling the whole world that he's an abuser. Because everybody thought until this week that he was an abuser. That was the popular perception of why their relationship broke up, because he was a drunk, drug addict abuser who made her life hell. And he got tired of that narrative, and it has almost destroyed his career of the last few years. Like I said, he lost his biggest franchise. He's taken some big career hits because of this. And I don't think it's cuck at all for him to go, really, bitch, let's do this. Because that's what he's doing.
Oh, yeah, way too late, though, after a decade of getting kicked around.
James,
I'm glad he's
where's your
doing it.
disconnect? So you just think he ought to just spend, so it's not a beta move to just spend the rest of your life going, oh, that's not true. That's not true. He's defending himself. He's defending his reputation and his name.
Yeah, he can't dig himself out of beta territory after that. The thing is, he's not supposed to put up with that in the first place. You're not supposed to get kicked in the head in the first place. And then,
God, you are so simplistic. My God, the world is far more complicated than you are sitting here.
Not if you have principles. Not if someone kicks you in the head, you just have a hard and fast rule. Someone kicks you in the head, you break up with them. That's it.
Well, see, but also, okay. Unfortunately,
he didn't know she was crazy before they got married.
He probably, but he's crazy too. And we are not talking about two normal animals. We are talking about two entitled, catered to Hollywood celebrities. We were talking about one who's at the very apex of Hollywood stardom, who is him. And we're talking about her, who is lucky to be with a star of his magnitude, because she is C-list at best. He is A-list. He had been A-list for 30 years. So, you know, yeah, I don't know. I think you are applying incredibly simplistic logic to this whole situation. And also,
for disinterested third parties who are listening to us, the lesson here is don't put up with a crazy bitch, and definitely don't marry one, and don't marry a girl unless you're absolutely sure she's not crazy. Same thing with girls. It goes both ways.
Any thoughts on that strategy?
I mean,
trying to save a marriage important to you, or whatever. People do turn into crazy bitches after the marriage, James. I mean, just because you got lucky.
I'm a bit shocked that it's taken this long for him to want to tell his side of the story. And it seems like when he just said, hey, let's go our ways, keep quiet, and she kind of threw him under the bus for being an abuser, that, like, what was he thinking? Like, how was he thinking? Like, it seems like there's got to be something else out there that she has on him that he doesn't want made public. I don't know.
Well, she had her chance. She didn't drop any bombs. I mean,
something just seems like not right. Like, why would you take it and lose your career if you really didn't do anything?
Yeah. Well, that speaks to James' point that he's what is the right-wing AM radio term that I'm not familiar with, but I recognize as something I've probably heard Michael Reagan say. Cuck is silly. Yeah, beta. That's it. What is it? Soy.
He's the beta male.
Soy boy beta male. Okay, beta male. Okay, so and that would make you're an alpha. You're an alpha. Johnny Depp is a beta, but you're an alpha.
If we were in middle school together, I would take his lunch money long before he would take mine.
Okay, all right. If that is the criteria, that I agree with you. You probably would, because he's a drama kid. I mean, we are not talking about people like you, me, and Emil, who are guys who played sports, who got into fights, who have rage issues. I mean, he's a theater kid. I don't know. I just don't think that you can. And again, really? You think he's a soft baby man? He's a Hollywood celebrity, dude. I mean, are you breaking news with that take? I guess that's my point. My point is, duh. I mean, but still, he is the victim here, and that's the conversation we're having.
Well, Will Smith wouldn't put up with that. Just because his wife like sleeps around and has boyfriends and stuff, he's still cool.
Yeah, well, they're going through. The rumors are that they're about to go through the most costly divorce in Hollywood history. So,
I don't believe it. They seem like they're so stable and healthy.
yeah. All right, James, I appreciate it. I know that you've gone the extra mile for us here tonight.
Well, by cussing Johnny Depp, it was my pleasure.
Well, there he goes. Or you can stay. I mean, I don't know how much longer we're gonna go.
Well, what's next?
I don't know. I do not know what is next on here. We'll just listen to a couple more minutes and we'll see if it's
It certainly didn't make any sense since I was there and I was the target. So
there we go. Yeah, we're out of
wanted-
it. There you go. We're that there was only like 20 seconds left, and it's just going to be him doing the slow talking thing that I just.
Yeah.
All
you
right.
want to know how alpha male leaves the show?
Yeah, show me.
Sideways.
There he goes. Yeah, he's gone. I swear to God. What is he only had 2 girlfriends in his entire life? I mean, it's like it just sounds like
But it is a little bit bizarre that he got beat up that bad.
Yeah. And that he didn't turn on her. I mean,
well, I don't know about physically turning on her, but it seems like in public
court.
Yeah, in public opinion or the court of public opinion, particularly if I'm losing my franchises, I don't know. I mean, or is he just at that point like got FU money and so he just
No, he was worth his career. He's made $650 million through films in his career. And within the last 20 years, he has squandered almost all of it, which is why the settlement, she was willing to accept $7 million. I mean, if he was worth the Johnny Depp, $650 million and.
Well, you don't have to work another day in your life if you're worth 50 million.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. But to be worth 650 and then lose, then only be worth 50, that's going to sting a little. You're gonna
true, but I mean, it's not going to stop you from doing whatever it is that you want to do the rest of your life. You might not have 10 penthouses.
Like he's got 3, apparently.
But
we're documented here.
You're going to be able to go where you want and stay where you want without even having to own a penthouse.
But don't you find that interesting that Amber Heard, who would have had some knowledge of his current financial situation, was willing to drop everything and walk away for $7 million? I mean, if in fact he's made $650 million in his career and he still had some semblance of that amount, no way she's walking away for $7 million. She's walking away for $200 million. You know what I mean? So I think that that's an indication that he's not as financial.
And they were legally married?
Oh yeah, married. Mm-hmm.
In California?
I don't know. They had to get a divorce, so legally.
Right, but I mean, are they married in a state where there's no prenup that exists? There's no, you know what I mean, like something that precluded her from getting more than that, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would assume they got married in California. I would assume, right, like an equal property state, that kind of
thing.
Yeah. No, I don't know. The $7 million offer was made before he basically rebutted the things that she had said. Now, I think that strategically was the move that got him in all this trouble, because he just said, look, I don't want to. He claims that he didn't want to destroy her career. I mean, it was very much like, she's a good kid. She's just screwed up and I don't want this to haunt her. Let's just walk away. That's sort of the vibe that he's been putting out there. And that would speak to James' sort of designation of him as a beta, as a weak guy. Some of us might see that as a decent human being, but James does right-wing talk radio, so there are no decent human beings in that arena. That's a weakness, being a kind, forgiving, and loving individual. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I could have done it. I mean, I would have gone to war. I mean, I know you would have gone to war. I've seen you go to war. I know what that would have been. But I mean, again, we're talking about a Hollywood theater dude. He's not a normal guy. He's trying to be all peace, love, and happiness,
Yeah, I don't know. It's bizarre.
It is. All righty. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. That's going to do it. That's going to wrap us up here for this edition of Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. It's always good to have Sunglasses back with us. Back with the sunglasses.
All right. Thank you.
By the way, special edition show tonight. Much smaller crowd than usual. Where was everybody in the chat room tonight? I didn't see any of our regular. We got Jeff. We got multiple Jeffs. We got Will. We got some of the new people I saw. But what happened to where's Adam? Where's our multiple Leslies? Where's our Aprils? Where's all?
I think I saw Adam had a baby.
Adam Reyna had a new baby?
Yeah, he had a new baby. I think I saw that on Facebook.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. I need to send them some.
Yep.
I don't know what
I think so.
All right, there he goes. Thank you, E. There he goes. Sunglasses. He is the master of the house.
All righty.
Thank you. 1% of compound. Come back anytime. There he goes. All right. Join us tomorrow for High Noon. It's going to be a regular High Noon show. We'll go through all the topics, the headlines, all the things that are happening in the world, everything that you need to keep up with your day. The hard part of all this is that I tend to agree with everything that James was saying. I was trying to get him to rile up. I wanted him to sort of, he was just, James always brings it. I don't mean to suggest that he was phoning it in tonight, although he was quite literally phoning it in tonight because they have an internet thing. I do appreciate him coming by. I guess the way that I would say it is, I don't know, man. I don't know. People who are familiar with my 20 plus years on the radio or Chicago and here in Dallas for a decade plus, all of my breakups were put on the air. I was breaking up with somebody every 6 months. Apparently I'm the difficult one, and I understand that. But I also understand that people's relationships are different, and I do understand why Johnny Depp, who's much older than Amber Heard, may see her as a broken bird, may see her as a good kid who he's just done with. Again, he's Johnny Depp. I think a regular guy has someone like Amber Heard. Hi, Leslie. I think a regular guy like Johnny Depp, or a regular guy who's not Johnny Depp, might have a woman like Amber Heard and just be dazzled by her beauty and probably put up with a whole lot of stuff. Johnny Depp didn't have to do that. That's what I don't get. Once it became him getting kicked in the head and, getting his finger cut off and all that stuff, Johnny Depp, let's just say that Johnny Depp wouldn't have been single for very long. So I'm with James on that. I don't really understand it. I just cringe whenever I hear those certain words, those certain weirdo speak is what I call it. Oh, really? Is he a beta? Are we doing the Greek alphabet now? Are we talking about beta? Soy boy? What is soy boy? Oh, that's so original. I've never heard that term before. I've never seen that every other post on Twitter or Facebook. Cool take. But he's right. But he is right. I don't know. But here is what I think we can all agree on. Amber Heard's a crazy chick. She's crazy. She's violent. She's mean. She's not an easy girlfriend. She's a pretty girl who can't believe that this old man was breaking up with her, and she was not putting up with it. Will says he doesn't like. Yeah, you know what? That's interesting. I pointed that out before. Will says Will doesn't like John Hinckley's take on 401ks, which I don't like it either. Maybe we dislike it for different reasons. John Hinckley comes from an extremely wealthy family. They don't really have to worry about 401ks. They have, he has trust funds and he's got money. So he's kind of shitting on the regular guy. He's kind of shitting on he's shitting on you and me. And so I agree with you, Will. Good take.
I have found a different way, so baffling to some. I have got an old guitar. That is all I need.
It's all I need. It's all I need. All right, whatever. I'm not going to sing. Not one of them theater guys.
Down the road,
I keep going back now. I'm like running through my head of like all of these girls that I've dated in my, and I'm an old man. I have dated some crazy girls. And they would probably say that I was a crazy guy, to be fair, but I wasn't crazy. I wasn't violent or anything. I mean, I talk to myself a lot. So, the type of guy full on, but that's an only child thing. I'm not schizo or anything. Yeah, I don't know. I've dated a few girls who were, they weren't good at 3:30 in the morning when the party was over. They were looking to scrap. They were looking to argue. They were looking to fight. Gotta be honest, and I'm more like a Johnny Depp type. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bed. Okay, go ahead. You kick walls. You go ahead. You kick the walls down here until you fall asleep. I'm going to bed. And then in the morning, it's a different story. It's, oh, I'm so sorry. I won't do that again. It's like, well, you are very attractive. I am very attracted to you. So let's roll the dice. Let's give it another shot. But that's me. That's not Johnny Depp. God. I don't know. People have lives I can't relate to. And those are two. All right, folks, we'll see you tomorrow at noon. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you enjoyed today's very special Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. I'm going to go watch baseball for a couple of hours. Recorded, so I'm going to fast forward. Oh, my God. My team played a doubleheader. They lost the first one 11-1. Holy balls. Okay, bye, everybody. Should have turned the mic off. I'm still coughing. My apologies. So unprofessional.